Welcome to the Daily Dish with Leanne Ely. This is a show about you, your life, and the vibrancy you want. Join us for daily motivation, wise women's tips, and more as we collectively gather together and move the needle in our lives, heart, mind, body, and soul. Now, here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
Hello, lovelies. You know what day it is. It's Wise Women's Wednesday. Notice anything different? Anyone? Anyone? What do you think of the sign? How do you like that? Living life in full bloom. Anyway, I'm just going kind of bonkers over the new sign. And we are going to be going live again on TikTok today. So I am super excited. Isn't it so pretty? Full bloom, y'all. Right there. My head's kind of blocking the B and the L. It says full M. I don't know what that is. But I had to put that out. I mean, listen, I've been waiting for this for a month. But it just lights up the whole room, doesn't it? Isn't it so fun? Yay! Rebecca, it's so good to see you. Cornelia, hello. Trisha, Nancy. There's my mother hen. We've also got Marguerite, Lucy in the house. Jocelyn. Yeah, full bloom. Hey, listen, you'll be able to see this. We will be doing a tour of my little office with all its hot pinkness because that's the sign that inspired it. And I had just this notion I was going to change everything up. And I think it just kind of does that. Anyway, a couple of things, you want to hear about it. Tonight is our autoimmune webinar. No, not tonight. Tomorrow, sorry. Thursday. There is an epidemic of autoimmune disease. It's going up between 6 and 9% every single year. 50 million Americans are inflicted with autoimmune disease. I am one of them. Although in remission, I have a story to tell, and I also have some definite protocols and some ideas. So you need to show up tomorrow night at savingdinner.com/autoimmune. That's how you go get your seat. I will also say this, that if there's someone in your family that you love, that you care about, you might want to hear about this. Or if you've got some kind of, all kinds of symptoms going on and your doctor can't figure it out, or they think it's something else, it's just a good idea. All right. This is my strong recommendation that you show up for this tomorrow night. Also, we did the sprint webinar on Monday. You can go watch that because we're going to start that on January 6th. We are skipping this next week. Usually we do it on the Monday and then start the following Monday. But because of the holiday, we're just forget about it. We're just going to go on June 6th. We'll be fine. You good with that? Also, question and answers are on Friday. So please send your questions in. It's really easy way to do it. Obviously, you can email them in at support@savingdinner.com. Question for Leanne on Friday goes in the subject line. Or you can also, we have posts on our Facebook Saving Dinner page. We also have them on the Hot Melt Sprint page. They're pinned. Meaning they're going to find them at the top of the page. You can go in there and you can just put your question there. But for privacy concerns, if you want to anonymously ask questions, definitely email. Okay? And make sure you get them in there. We want them there before noon tomorrow, if you could do that. Also, our supplement of the week is Sleep Ease. I have heard so many people talk about their sleep issues. And I will tell you, getting a good night's sleep is a needle mover in anything that you want in life. It's vibrancy, y'all. And this is how you get it. I'm telling you, our Sleep Ease is a fabulous formula. It covers all types of insomnia and it helps to keep you asleep. Ask me how I know. So go to savingdinner.com/show to go pick up this deal, because if you buy 3, you're going to get that 4th one absolutely free. And that, my friends, is a screaming deal. Am I right? The other thing that you need to know is that, of course, we have our text message application on that is ready to give you the best deals, the best freebies, and it is exclusive to our text message folks. To join this little small group of folks who are getting the best deals, You're going to want to text the word join all in caps to this phone number, 855-960-3720. That will add you to the list, but you must confirm, and we will send you a message back. You confirm yes, and we're in. Okay? And those messages go out, I'm just letting you know, usually on Thursdays. So if I were you, I'd get on that right now. Yes, get on that right now. Full Bloom is happening. Girlfriends, can I just tell you, I am ecstatic for this. July 29th, 30th, and 31st. If you go all the way and do the pop-up brunch, that's going to be also at my house. All the details are at savingdinner.com/bloom to get your tickets. We've got lots of people I've been seeing a lot of virtual tickets, but boy, oh boy, wouldn't it be fun for you to be here in person? Because I'm going to be hugging you up. That's the way I do. That's how I roll, y'all. So let's get on all of that. And of course, if you miss the announcements, go back to savingdinner.com/announcements. That's where we house them all, because housing our announcements is important. And the quote of the week is too. So look at Melissa McCarthy. Go all in. You won't ever get today back. That's slight deviation from it, but you get it. Time's precious, right? We wise women honor their time. Wise women are extraordinarily cognizant of their time. Don't you think that's important? I do. All right, we're going to get down to it. We're going to bring we're bringing TikTok back. So if you are watching me on TikTok, you'll see me there too. 2 different angles. It's so weird. She's did she like that? So Sadie apparently is loving the sign. Look, Sadie, take a peek. See, look, it is real. I'm touching it. Full Bloom. It's the coolest of things ever. All right. We are going live right now on TikTok. So welcome, TikTok. This is the Wise Women's Wednesday, and this is the Daily Dish Show. We are living life in full bloom, aren't we? Full bloom, which they can only see backwards. I don't know how to do that on TikTok to flip it around so it's not doing that. Anyway, let's get down to business here, because I've got some words for you. This week we've been talking about contrasts and how contrast is absolutely critical for us to understand what's going on, for us to have a brain that operates on full capacity. Remember this, that when a baby is born, we put mobiles over their cribs, and what are they? They're black and white. The reason that we do that is because this is how the brain picks up and distinguishes things differently. So it starts from when we're babies, but as we get older, we still appreciate a good contrast. That's why I love contrast so much, because it is that cosmic 2x4 that goes bam. You know, we need that, don't you? I do. If we're going to become the best versions of ourselves, we need that to happen. So now I'm not getting religious, but I'm going to pull down something from the Bible, specifically Proverbs, where they have a lot of content speaking about the contrast between wisdom and foolishness, because wise and foolish is obviously they counter one another. And let's take a peek at the meaning, though, first of wise. This is what the dictionary says. Having or showing experience, knowledge, and good judgment. Experience, knowledge, and good judgment. I like that. So when we understand that's what the dictionary says, we can pull this stuff apart and take a look at it. First of all, we need to understand, what is experience? It is a teacher. Experience gives us the hard lessons that sometimes we need to learn. We learn what works, and we learn what doesn't work, don't we? And if we're wise, we're gonna remember that and carry that through. Number 2 is knowledge is the library that we pull from. The library that we pull from. Because how did we get that knowledge in the first place except from experience? And 3 is good judgment is common sense. Well thought out. I love good judgment. And I also would have to say about good judgment being common sense, it is something that it's not only well thought out, but it's thought of. In other words, we ruminate a little bit on this so that we are making good judgments. That doesn't mean that we get stalled. We don't want to get stalled. We don't want to get hung up on what do I do and be then indecisive. But we mull things over. We don't just knee jerk our way through life, because that doesn't work. So the question though we have to ask is, how do I become wise? I mean, this is, I think, a valid question. And this is something, don't we too often not examine ourselves enough to figure out, am I being wise or am I not? And I think this is a good thing. We need to examine and ask questions about ourselves, because this is how we move the needle in our life and go to that next level of living a vibrant life, because living life in full bloom is all about vibrancy. Number one is self-awareness. And we get self-awareness when we are having the guts to examine our lives. But, we do it without the emotional weightiness of the whole thing. Otherwise, we can't get past go, and we all have emotions. I'm not saying to dismiss them. I'm saying to put them aside and then do the analysis. That's all I'm saying. Know yourself, know your feelings, know your thinking, know what's going up. And then also think about your thinking. Is this even the right, should I even be looking at this part of it? And this is not to get into the place of just being paralyzed on what to do next, but we have to look at everything so that we can have a clear judgment of what to do now and what to do next. Isn't that great? I love that. I think that's the most amazing thing in the world, because think about your thinking. How often do we even sit there and think, am I even thinking clearly about this? It's a good thing to do. Number two is awareness and honesty, by the way, with others. It's easier sometimes to know yourself than it is to know others. And we don't assume much about ourselves. We assume the best things about ourselves usually, or the very worst things. We don't, the honest, hardcore truth, sometimes, but not always. But the other thing is that we so often assume something about someone else. And you know what that means, assume it makes an ass out of you and me, we do that. It's a quick snap judgment that we do, not to ourselves, but to others. And that isn't helpful, and it will hold us back. Number three, the process is just as important as the result. Now, hear me on this. Wise women understand this. When we understand that the process is important, we understand that the journey is the teacher, not the result. It's the journey. So wise women are joyful trekkers, seeing their goal come to fruition. But they see their goal in front of them, and they see it as exciting. They see it as a challenge. They don't see it as, oh, if I can only. And I think this is really important, because dreading the journey puts us in a place where we're not going to embrace it, and we're not going to fully extrapolate every little juicy tidbit from it. Think about that one for a minute. I think it's really great. We have an opportunity when we do this to flip our I don't want us. Yeah? I don't know about you, but I have a lot of I don't want it. I don't want to get up. I don't want to make my bed. I don't want to, eat healthy. I want to eat some takeout, or I just want to sit on the couch and watch Netflix and play on my phone. But that's not the path to wisdom, apparently. It hasn't worked for me. Did it work for you? Anybody? Has it worked for you? Pinkies up if it's worked for you. I don't know the soul that it has. It puts a lot of regret into the equation. So if you're on a health or a weight loss pursuit or whatever it is, you get it. You are on the cusp of a big project, and it means that you need to therefore keep putting one step in front of the other. It's a joyful journey if you decide it is. Number four is wise women listen to themselves. They listen to others, not necessarily unsolicited advice, by the way, but they listen to others, and they can feel the room. In other words, they walk into a room and they're not going to just burst into a room and be inappropriate, because they can understand exactly what the heck is going on. They take stock, they evaluate, they pay attention, and they revel in the nuance. You know what I mean by that? The nuance is the place where we find the aha moments. I know that is for me. Sometimes it's just one spoken word or a sentence or a conversation that you have with someone that completely changes your mind about something. Sometimes it's that. And sometimes we need to just take something that someone has said to us or advice or whatever. And instead of just dumping it all entirely, completely, maybe what we need to do is examine it and tweak it just a little bit, just this much. A little tweak sometimes is the thing that moves the needle. So the other thing, number 5, is wise women use the experience file. And for those of you who don't know what the experience file is, a little term I coined to take the things that we have learned from the past experience that we have and put the value of those experiences in the file and dump the rest. Because what we have a tendency to do is forget the lesson and just roll around in the emotional overwroughtness of what happened instead of taking that lesson and allowing that to be our next step up and level up into the world that we want to live in, not the garbage that's going on. Think about that one. It's a huge needle mover. And what we find is that, it's not the end of the world. Welcome to humanity. It's not the end of the world if we make a mistake, ever. It's not the end of the world. We can see, though, that problems tend to go away and not get put on repeat when we use the experience file. The experience file is everything. We get to look for the lesson, apply the lesson, and then file it. That is the best way to work. I mean, think about it. If you were at work and you never filed anything, what would your desk look like? Probably like mine does right now. Don't look. But you have to file things. We have to put things away because it's imperative that we live in a place of abundance thinking. And it's imperative that we live in a place where we have the experience that we want to live. And we do that from pulling from our knowledge library that I just talked about at the very beginning of the show. Number 5, wise women laugh. When's the last time you had a raucous laugh? When's the last time you just had a belly laugh that you almost split your sides laughing and started crying? I mean, to me, that is like one of the best things. It's cleansing, it's cathartic, and it's chemical. Did you know that when you do this, do you know what happens to you when you do this? You change your body's chemistry. Endorphins are released. Your serotonin and your dopamine go to the roof, and you start to feel like a different person because you've just changed your body's chemistry just by having a good laugh. And I don't know if anybody watches the Three Stooges or anything, but I'll tell you what, they can do it for me. Three Stooges are a riot. I haven't seen them forever, but I mean, come on, go watch the Three Stooges. Number 7 is your purpose. Wise women seek their purpose. We're here on purpose and for purpose. We are here because we were put here divinely, I believe, with all of my heart. If that's the case, then your contribution of this world was crafted before you were even here. I mean, think about it for a minute. Why on earth are you here now and you weren't born 100 years ago or 100 years from now, but now, in the place that you are with who you're with? Think about that. Think about that. What can you do with that? What can you do with that knowledge? And how can that be your true north? And you can start to see your purpose. Number 8, gosh, we got a lot of these, don't we? Is that wise women demonstrate kindness always. I have not a swimsuit. I have a little pajama top that says, "Be kind always." And I love that little pajama top because every time I pull it out, it reminds me of what we are called to do and what we're called to be. If we're not kind, then what is the point? If we're not loving, what is the point? We can demonstrate kindness constantly all around us. We can demonstrate. I took a big moth outside yesterday. I had this big lunar moth that came in, this one of those things. Now, a cockroach would not have any kindness from me. I'm sorry, because cockroaches are cockroaches. But I took that moth and took it outside and let it go, and I was having a moment of kindness for this big, beautiful creature. And we can do that with a stray dog, and we can do that with the cashier at the store who's having a really hard day. Do we need to be impatient? Do we need to be unkind? Absolutely not. We need to be the light that we're here on purpose to be. So how do you treat others, especially those who can't do anything for you, is an absolute testimonial to who you are and who you are underneath. We need to be the declaration that God sent us here. That's how I look at it. So see the connection. You're here on purpose and for purpose. Even with this interacting with this cashier, you can share just a little bit of love and a little bit of light. Imagine that. What a sweet thing to do. And appreciate it as well when someone does it in tune back to you. I want to say this. We are all struggling. We're all on this big planet and we struggle, don't we? It's hard. And at times it feels overwhelming. At times it's painful. So if we choose wisdom's path then, by being present, being aware, and changing the things that need to be changed, and looking at things that we can't change as well, we can simply be at peace with that. Then we can be at peace with all the stuff that we can't control. And doesn't that make a big difference in your life? Then you are able to walk the path that you are been privileged to have. It's yours. That's what you can do. And I will tell you that wise women become the very best versions of themselves when they follow these steps. When they're aware of who they are, when they're aware of themselves, and they're aware that, yes, this emotional stuff's always going to come up. We don't dismiss it, we deal with it, but at the same time, we also know that if we think about what our thinking is all about, we can also step up and go to the next level. So, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to become the best version of myself for you. I say pinkies up on that one. And that is our little pledge to ourselves, everyone, if you're wondering what pinkies up are. Don't forget, tomorrow night we have the autoimmune webinar. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can find all the sign-up details at savingdinner.com/autoimmune. And if you missed any of the announcements, including the special of the week and all of that, you can find that at savingdinner.com/announcements. I so appreciate you showing up. Thanks so much for being a part of my world. Live your life in full bloom. Yeah? Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Check back for new episodes. If you missed the live show, you can always watch the replay. You can find Saving Dinner on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Until next time, pinkies up.